Okay, I made a video on how to assemble the forks on a Yamaha XS650. It was a little dark, so I decided to make a better one at a better angle and a little better lighting. So anyway, this is going to be a quick video, but sorry for the mess on the bench of tears here. But a couple parts of the Yamaha XS650 fork tubes. You have your lower tube. This is where the wheel would go. This is the top where your seals go, and of course your dust collar. You have your stanchion, which is the long part. You have two ends to it. You have one with the tapered end that's towards the bottom, that goes towards the bottom like that. Then you have your upper end, which has, you'll see the even size, and it's got threads. That's where your fork cap goes, your threaded fork cap. If you have a later model, it's the adjustable kind. That's what goes in there. You also have your dampening rod, your rebound spring. One side you have the 8mm Allen, and the other side you have the 17mm socket that you need. And then of course you have your bottom cap that goes on here. So essentially, inside your stanchion, what you're going to see is when it's assembled, is inside your stanchion, that's what it's going to look like. Okay? So you're also going to need the 17mm Allen, which is a big sucker, and you can just get this and get a socket that's 17mm and put it in there. However, you are going to need a very long extension, because you have to have an extension as such to reach down in here. So to put these together, you have your lower fork tube. Make sure these are all clean and everything, of course. But real quick, you get your dampening rod and you put your rebound spring on it. 17mm goes up, 8mm goes down. You put it in the top of your fork tube where the fork cap would go, and you let it slide down. This doesn't have any lube in it, so it's going to be a little tight. Hopefully I can, there it comes. And it comes out. Now where that rebound spring is in the top of the cap, or the top of the dampening rod, you can see that's as far as it goes. So when it's in the lower fork tube and it's bouncing around, that's what stops it from pulling out, because with your cap and everything attached, it's like that. Okay, got it? All right. So then what you would do is you get your cap. There's only one hole. There's the big hole and there's a smaller hole where the bolt goes through, but you put that on your dampening rod. Make sure this is flush. Make sure that is flush when it goes in, because you will have binding problems if not. So make sure it's all flush. And you get that and you put it in your lower fork tube. Make sure it's completely compressed and flush. And then you would put your 8mm Allen in there like that. And then of course you would reach down through the top with your long extension like that, and then you would tighten it. And it's pretty simple, and when that's attached and screwed in, it can't go out any farther. Alright, then you would of course put the recommended amount of fluid in there, and then put the spring on, and then put your cap back on. And again, to take it apart, you would take that out, put your 17mm down here, put your 8mm here, unscrew them. It'll free itself up. You pull the two assemblies apart. Now, you can see what happened there. The cap's still in there, so sometimes you got to fish that out. And you take your dampening rod out, and then you clean it all up. And don't forget, you're going to have to renew your seals, because on the top here, you can see how nasty and crusty some of these are. They are just disgusting and they really smell. But you have your seal, your washer, and your snap ring. Of course, make sure you refer to your manual to make sure you're putting everything on there correctly and torquing the correct specs. But that's basically it. It's not really hard, but you do need these two. You can make your own. You can weld an 8mm to a socket. I bought this. I also bought this, which is just a big 17mm. I know you can get, sometimes you'll find an old Allen. You can just cut that off, and again, just put it in a socket, and then with a very long extension to go down into the top of the stanchion. So, hope that helped, and enjoy.